Hey, you're welcome. What up? You know what it is? It's not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Markman. My apologies to you all. I said I was going to drop this video yesterday on Sunday. Today is Monday. I decided to hold it a little bit longer. I did post it and I made it available for members, people who join the membership. So y'all got to see it early. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. But yesterday's video that I did about Lil Wayne's tweet, I wasn't really expecting it to go off like it did, so I'm like, man, let me just let that breathe. And honestly, maybe I didn't want it to go off like it did and so many people to watch it. I mean, I want y'all to watch my stuff, but just the beef of it all. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. But also, I mean, we just know we're fascinated by the competition of it all. But to me, these videos where we're just breaking down songs where there maybe is no tension like that. There is no hint of a battle or competition. To me, these are just important, and I love doing these too. So I hope y'all watch this. I hope y'all enjoy this. I'm going to break down some more of these songs off of GNX. Maybe I see some of y'all asking me to do every single song, like track by track, and do it in order. But I'm going to take my time. I don't know if I'm going to do track by track. I might because I don't want to force it. I want to talk about stuff that I actually have something to say, to actually talk about, that I feel like I have something substantive to say, or something that really kind of wowed me or impressed me or made me like just want to talk about it. I just don't want to give y'all videos just to give it, to feed the algorithm or to feed whatever. But if y'all do want it, we'll find a way into it. But I'm not gonna go in order. The song I'm really dying to break down is Reincarnated, but there's still things about that song that I have yet to fully wrap my head around. I don't have it all figured out yet. Like, who's the R&B singer and the woman singer in verse 2 that he's talking about? Is that literal? Is it literal? Is it like Jackie Wilson in verse 1 or John Lee Hooker? Is it like Etta James or Billie Holiday in verse 2? Or is it just like poetic license with Kendrick using archetypes and tropes that we all know, but pointing to no one specific, right? Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Shout out to A. Quincy Jones, also, man, a member of our community. Somebody who I talk with often too, that I just met off YouTube, that I met here. But I mean, he's doing the research too, so he's hitting me, yo, I think it's this. So man, shout out to A. Quincy, and shout out to everybody, man, just in the comments and the membership. And then verse 3, like, who is Kendrick exactly in verse 3? Like, I have strong ideas, I have strong feelings. Obviously, there's the Satan component. Like, what is he really trying to say? I just need a moment to tie it all together. So I don't want to force Reincarnated, but that one's coming soon. But there's a ton on this album. I want to do a Heart Part 6 video just exclusively on Heart Part 6. I want to do Man at the Garden, so stay tuned for those. But today I want to sit with Gloria, because Gloria is such a dope record, and it closes the album. And just the experience I had listening to it the first time, the experience that I'm sure many of you had listening to the first time, it was just a dope listen. And then when you get to the end, there's a payoff. Song features SZA. It's produced by Deet, Soundwave, and Jack Antonoff. So at first with the title, I'm like, who's Gloria, right? Like, as many of us were like, yo, who's Gloria? So it's the first thing I thought, who is this a reference to? But it's Kendrick, so you never know, right? On the surface, you just kind of never know. And then there's meaning for everything. There's intention for everything. So I just let it ride, and let's see where the song takes us. So first, the song, the beat, the pacing, the feel reminded me a lot of Father Time from Mr. Morale. It's not the same beat. I don't believe it. Like, it's not the same beat, but it's in the same family, right? It feels like your brother, right? Like, you're not twins, but y'all damn sure got the same father. You know what I mean? So that's what Gloria sonically really feels like Father Time to me, and that's interesting. And I would love to speak to Soundwave, or hear from Soundwave about. I feel like there's a story there, there's a connection there, there's something there, because Soundwave has credits on both records. But we're just gonna get into it, right? Like, verse 1, lyrics. Me and my bitch got a complicated relationship. She's so controlling. I noticed it. Ain't no playing with. I met her when I was off the porch as a teenager. She said one day I would right my wrongs and see paper. So boom, right off the bat, I'm thinking Whitney. I'm sure a lot of y'all was thinking it too, even though it's called Gloria. I'm like, oh, maybe that's her middle name. I don't know, right? But so right off the bat, I'm thinking about Whitney. They seem to have a beautiful relationship, but surely complicated, as we've heard on Mr. Morale, right? Like, this is not anything that we're making up in our heads or fantasies. So this is where I'm thinking with the first couple of bars. Second line hits me, And I'm like, oh, word, she's controlling? Oh, okay. Like, tell me more. Like, okay, like now we getting into, Kendrick's business a little bit, right? But it's him letting us in. I met her off the porch as a teenager, so, I'm not sure the exact timeline, but I know they met when they were young, so it all tracks. I'm like, okay. And then she said, one day I will right my wrongs and see paper. Boom. That's our first clue right there, right? That's just great songwriting to me. So, spoiler alert for those who don't know. Sorry. But spoiler alert for those who don't know. But Gloria is Kendrick's pen. And the song is about his love for his pen and writing and finding himself through that, right? And his relationship with the pen, the complicated relationship. We find that out at the end of the song. That last line hits you and you're like, that's what he meant. And then it makes you rewind. And then when you rewind, you see all the little clues that were staring us in the face all along. The way he was talking about his pen all the time, we just didn't know it. So when he said, one day I will right my wrongs and see paper, if you don't know it's about a pen, it still tracks. You know what I'm saying? That's the support of what a good woman would tell you. And there's still a bar, there's still an entendre in there that works. But then when you find out about the pen, it makes that line even richer, right? Song reminded me of the first time I heard Common. I used to love her. Back then, he used to go by Common Sense. I think it was in 1994. I was listening to the radio Stretch and Bobbito, and they played that record. And in that record, Common is talking about his love for a woman, but the personification is the woman is hip hop. So he's talking about his love for a woman and their relationship, they're back and forth, and she moves to the West Coast and she blows up and she gets real popular out there. And at the end, who I'm talking about, y'all, is hip hop. And I remember hearing that on the radio, and I was taping it because I would always tape Stretch and Bobbito, and stopping the tape, stopping what I was recording, and I didn't care what they played next. I had to go back, rewind, and listen to that song. Like, what? Like, did I just miss this whole thing? And so this reminds me of that. This gave me that experience, and I love it. Like, as a fan, as a listener, as somebody who just loves hip hop, loves lyrics, loves intention, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then, it's that same type of writing that Nas did on I Gave You Power. He personifying, he breathed life into a gun. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie with a twist at the ending. Those classic M. Night Shyamalan movies, or the end of Fight Club. If y'all ever seen that movie Fight Club, and at the end, and you're like, yo, what the hell? A Sixth Sense or something like that. Very dope. And more directly, just knowing Kendrick and his appreciation and his fandom and inspiration due to Tupac. Probably more directly a nod to Tupac's classic record, Me and My Girlfriend, where Pac is talking about his gun like it's his girl. So this is Gloria, man. This is dope. So she said, one day I will right my wrongs and see paper. Right my wrongs, again, the power of music to just change your life around, right? But also to tell your stories, to confess it, to let it out, to not keep it bottled up, but also to right your wrongs, WRITE, to write out your wrongs and see paper. You don't keep it bottled up. It's like, not only do you change your life, but you express yourself, you express your wrongdoings. The music is often, for a lot of artists, I know it is for me. I heard Big Boy say this in the Outkast song. The music is often a confessional. You know what I'm saying? So you write your wrongs. You literally write them out and you see paper. The paper that you write on, but also money, right? I'm seeing paper. I'm blowing up. It's a simple line. It's one that we don't fully get at first, but just like very dope and even more rich when you go back and rewind it. We started out young looking for some identity, made 1,000 mistakes, but we never lacked chemistry. Wrapping my hand around your waist, that was back when you did whatever I say. Wrapping my hand around your waist can apply to a woman or could apply to a pen. So he keeps this analogy going. And this is all throughout the song. So the special part of the song also is like, how long can he keep this up? How many of these different references, analogies that perfectly fit a woman, but also perfectly fit a pen? Like, how many of these can he do? So it's almost like, though he's expressing something real and heartfelt, it's also like an exercise. I'm sure it's like even a challenge for him. Like, how much can I really put into this that makes the song and the narrative make sense, but will wow the listener? You know what I'm saying? So he goes on, dreams of selling narcotics, running blocks, or robbing banks. I was in love with you, didn't know what it was with you, kiss you in the back of the class just to get a buzz with you. writing rhymes in back of the class. I think that's what he means. Unless he's talking about markers and sniffing markers to get a buzz, like a literal buzz. I don't know. I know some kids who did that too. Maybe, but I really don't think so. But as me personally, as a kid who used to sit in back of my class and write rhymes when I'm supposed to be doing math or history or whatever, I get this. Like I could see this. Like I could see it. I could see a young Kendrick like just focused, like writing rhymes when he's supposed to be doing homework or classwork or something to it. So at least that's how I connected to it, right? But dope line, you can see it. Kiss you in back of the class just to get a buzz with you. And then, same thing, in school with a girl, man. You can find a girl you like. Y'all might be in the back of the class, hold hands when the teacher not looking, or a back staircase or something like that. You know what that teenage love do. So he says, some niggas wanted you, but they weren't committed, preoccupied playing John Madden and bullshitting. A very real line. A lot of people say they want to rap, especially when we're young. When I was younger, I had a whole rap crew. Like I was in a whole group, and one by one, people just start falling off and life getting into the way, or just other things occupy their time. It's easy to say you want it. It's harder to really commit yourself to it, right? Some niggas wanted you, but they wasn't committed. Preoccupied playing John Madden and bullshit. And so, who's ready to commit themselves? Who's ready to dedicate themselves? And again, he's starting out young. He's taking us back in the day. He gives us the imagery of in the back of the class. And then maybe this is what happens after school. Hey, man, I want to be a rapper. Hey, so what you do? Hey, I'm going to go write this rhyme. Yo, I'm going to play this John Madden, man. Yo, I'll catch up with you later. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? So, again, very young. He's back in the day with us. Remember when Granny died, you looked at me and said, baby, dry your eyes. Depend on me as your relief. Let your anger be mine. We was locked in ever since then. So territorial even took me away from my friends. So when his grandmother died, right, the pen and the writing, it becomes a form of therapy, right? Again, like I said before, the music is often a confessional. You know what I'm saying? It's a way to express yourselves. Writing to deal with the pain, writing to deal with the anger, writing to deal with the heartbreak, with whatever emotions you have. Maybe when you have feelings that you can't speak out loud to anyone, or you just don't have that trusted person that you can confide in. A lot of artists, as an artist, hey, I could write it down, I could write it out. It's a release, it's a way so I don't have to hold it on inside. You write it. And again, I don't know how many people realize this on their first listen. If you on the first line, as soon as you heard Gloria and as soon as you heard that, Right My Wrongs and See Paper, if you on that first 4 bars knew he was talking about a pen, let me know. Hit me in the comments. I don't believe that very many, if any, people realized on the first listen. So to me, this is just that dope songwriting that gives the track replay value. On the chorus, unless I'm missing something, on SZA's chorus, there's not much that's coded in SZA's hook to me, or nothing that I caught, right? Let me just say that. Nothing that I caught. Scared of forever. You know nothing else is going to pass. I just let you know. When you want me, you got me to the end of time. Just got to let you know. I didn't think there was very much coded in SZA's hook, but it's something that you would express to a loved one. So I think SZA's hook is very lovey and ambiguous almost on purpose, right? Like it works for a woman. It's still to lead you to believe on that first listen that he is talking about a woman. He is talking about the love of his life, and then we'll get it at the end. But then when you realize the hook still works, right? Like, Kendrick is going to be a writer forever. He's going to be an artist forever. Will he be rapping forever? I don't know, right? But the art, the expressiveness of Kendrick Lamar, to the end of time, he'll rely on his pen, and this is the vow. So we get into verse 2. Said you gonna see other people if I didn't grow with you. Wasn't no more holding them pistols in front of stores with you. You want reality, not tragedy, for sure. I get you. To tell the truth, I've been pretty used to what open-minded people do. This is the crossroads, right? This is where you could change your life. This is going back to verse 1. One day I would write my wrongs and see paper. This is back to verse 1. Also wanted you, but they weren't committed. This is, how committed are you to rapping and being an artist? The pen is saying now, the pen keeps calling them, said that I'm gonna see other people. If you don't grow with me, if you're not committed to this, there are so many others who want this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember it was in Fade to Black where Jay-Z was like, yo, there's some kids somewhere reading the back of a cereal box and writing rhymes, like some young kid looking to take my spot. Like, Like this dream is a dream of many. So if you don't want it, I'll see other people. If you're not willing to grow, if you're not willing to take this where it needs to go, I'm going to see other people. You know what I'm saying? Again, works for relationship, but works in this for sure. And what do you want to be? You want to be in the street? You know, again, we know from Kendrick's story, he's seen a lot of friends succumb to the street. Like, you want to go left or you want to go right? Then this part, I love this part. In 2014, I went to Africa, baby. You was my passenger. My eyes and my ears for all the years the neighborhood had baffled us. 2014, I went to Africa, right? So much of that experience, so much of that trip, he wrote into To Pimp a Butterfly. So much of that trip to Africa informed To Pimp a Butterfly, which dropped the next year in 2015. Songs like How Much a Dollar Costs, where Kendrick encounters a homeless man and starts to see the God in him, you know, possibly an angel on earth. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who we would normally walk past and not think much of. Kendrick sees this homeless man and starts seeing him as an angel on earth. This whole story was a true story and happened to Kendrick in Johannesburg, South Africa. As many of you know, I did a big interview with Dot in 2015, and we talked about this very thing. We talked about this very instance. In that interview, Kendrick talked about that time, that trip, and just seeing the world at that time. Remember, this is after Good Kid, Mad City. So Kendrick is blown up. I'm sure his finances change. You got to tour the world. You start traveling the world. You start seeing the world. And, you know, it's a little different maybe from the other tours he might have done with J-Rock and whatever. You know, this is the biggest thing that's happened to TDE at this point with Good Kid, Mad City. So there's more that Kendrick sees. There's more that he's opened up to. So Kendrick starts really, really seeing the world for the first time and seeing a world that's bigger than Compton. And that's the next line. My eyes and my ears for all the years the neighborhood had baffled us. Like, I thought the world was one way. I'm from Compton, and I'm starting to see all this other thing, you know, in the rest of the world. Again, that experience changed Kendrick and changed his writing. There was a shift. You know, this 2014 trip to Africa informed To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly represents growth, more growth than the Good Kid in Mad City, right? You know, and then that line, the neighborhood had baffled us. This points to songs like Institutionalized from To Pimp a Butterfly. You know, his view of the world is starting to change. His pen is there to help him make sense and express these thoughts. And then he says, of course, I had to wrap it up. I didn't fully trust you. Fabrication, I discussed you. Then you blocked me. I said, fuck you. Of course, I had to wrap it up. You know, wrap it up, right? Like close it down, shut it down, but also wrap it up. R-A-P. I had to wrap it up. Like, these experiences, I had to wrap it up. He has to rap about what he sees. Then you blocked me. I said, fuck you. Writer's block. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an ill connection. So much, again, right? Like, how can he keep this up? You know, how many times can he touch on this throughout the song? Because I believe when he's writing this song from the beginning, he knows where it's gonna land. He knows what the end is. Sometimes, at least for me, and I speak to a lot of artists and their experience. I forgot who said this. Somebody said this recently. Oh my God. Oh, J. Cole. J. Cole on his podcast has said, the one that he's doing with him and Eve. I enjoy listening to that podcast too, The Inevitable. J. Cole has said something about, like, when he writes his story rhymes, a lot of times he doesn't know where it's going to end. Like, he just starts and he goes where it takes him, right? And I imagine that it's like that for a lot of people. When Kendrick starts writing this down from the first line, he has to know, he's knowing where he's going to land. So he's peppering all this throughout. So I can imagine the excitement of him writing this, like, yo, wait till they get this. Wait till this connects. Okay, this isn't going to connect till later. I would love to speak to Kendrick and ask him, but I feel like this was a fun song to write. This was like a fun exercise. So the writer's block line, dope. Then we get that interlude with SZA where she's arguing, right? So here's the contention. Here's the part of the complicated relationship that he talked about in the very first line. You blocked me. I said, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, block me on social media, block my number, block. These are things that happen in a relationship. You blocked me. I said, fuck you, but it's writer's block. So then SZA comes through. What? I gave you life. I breathe the motherfucking charisma in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I bring the rainfall. I gave you hustle. I gave you power. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the Nas thing. I gave you hustle, you know, And then Kendrick says, then fall right back in love the very moment I touch you. So, again, they're personifying a relationship, which I thought was dope. I thought that interlude was dope. And then, and then Kendrick ends that, right? She's like, I bring the rainfall. I gave you hustle. And then he's like, then fall back in love the very moment that I touch you. To me, it sounds like a couple fighting for sure. Gives me flashbacks of we cry together from Mr. Morale. Again, a real relationship, right? So I'm still thinking he talking about a real girl, possibly Whitney. We cry together. It was like that. They're fighting the whole thing. And then at the end, what do they end up doing? They end up fucking. They end up making up again, right? So it kind of almost mirrors and hints to we cry together, enforcing that these are a real relationship I'm talking about with a real woman. Then the hook comes in verse 3. You a spontaneous firecracker, plus our love is dangerous. Life of passion, laughing at you, losing your temper, slightly crashing, dumb enough to ill reaction. Ain't no disrespect, highly sensitive, possessed, or potential, even when it's tragic. So jealous, hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches. So again, we seen the tension, and then he's also talking about this pen as you're spontaneous, a firecracker. Our love is dangerous, life, passion, laughing at you, losing your temper. I think this is starting to allude to the battle side of Kendrick, right? Like, okay, when we in this and we got to write these diss records, when we got to send these shots, like my girl is down with the shits too. Like, she's this guiding force and this love and this divine. Oh man, but she could lose her temper too. She could write some shit slightly crashing. So I think it's that. But the jewel here, my favorite part here is so jealous, hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches. Don't women get jealous? Yeah, man, your girl gonna get jealous. You hit the club to go get some bitches, right? Because when you're at the club, you're not. And then, but the pen too. If he's at the club, he's not writing. He's collecting experiences. And for Kendrick, those experiences of being in the club, chasing women, writing those experiences didn't work for him. And here is I'm taking the long way there. But here's the jewel in this line. So jealous, hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches. I believe this is a very specific reference to Kendrick's wackest song ever. Kendrick has said this was his wackest song ever when he was on Big Boy. The song is called Bitch, I'm in the Club. And it's from C4. It's from the C4 mixtape. I'm just going to play a clip of when he was on Big Boy when he's talking about it if you didn't know about this record.
What's your wackest song?
My wackest song. My wackest song. Y'all probably can look it up on YouTube too.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
It's called Bitch, I'm in the Club. Y'all need to play that on the record. Yeah, go on the station. They gonna do that?
Boom. So hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches is, to me, an exact reference to Bitch, I'm in the Club. Hate it. Kendrick said this is wackest song. The pen hates it. She hates it. Kendrick, I hate it. Like, this is not working for me. Like, this lifestyle is not working for me. So here's the juxtaposition. Wrote him off, rather see me hit the church and get religious. So wrote him off is a bar, reference to the pen. And then the deeper songs in Kendrick's catalog, the ones where Dot starts to find himself, the ones where he starts to contemplate life more, is what worked for him, right? Like, and if you look at from C4 to, songs like Faith from the Kendrick Lamar EP, just look at that juxtaposition, because the Kendrick Lamar EP is when things really started to change for him, right? When more people started to take notice, he changed his name. And, the rapping style was different. He started to find his voice more. So that juxtaposition from, so jealous, hate it when I hit the club to get some bitches, wrote him off, rather see me hit the church to get religious, is the difference between Bitch, I'm in the Club and Faith from the Kendrick Lamar EP. That's what I believe. If you feel different, let me know. He goes on, who you fooling? I know what you doing, you my contradiction. Remember when you caught that body and still wiggled through that sentence? Caught that body, still wiggle through that sentence. That's a bar. Again, how many of these can he keep up? Caught that body in a rap battle, right? Like catching bodies. Maybe there's some. I always say with Kendrick, and I don't know, man, but he talks about some dark times in his past a lot, and I don't know how much of this applies. But remember when you caught that body and still wiggled through that sentence, all right? That writing, caught a body right and still wiggle through the sentence. I just think it's an incredible bar. Love you more when you flip and lose your shit. I hug you more. It's sexy to me. Cuss they ass out and hold that grudge some more. Again, alluding to the battle side. Like Kendrick is very peaceful, very uplifting with his music, very I want better for my people, I want better for my community, I want better for hip hop. But as he showed us this year, there's that other side of him where he enjoys the bullshit too. Like don't get it twisted. I could participate in the bullshit. So the love affair between him and his pen, because they both down for the shit, is sexy to me. Cuss they ass down and hold that grudge some more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick, a little petty with these rhymes too. Like Kendrick will bust your ass and say some crazy, nasty shit about you, as evidenced in 2024, his battle against Drake. Next line. Down, bitch, I know your favorite movie is a Notebook. Again, how long can you keep this analogy up? You know how many girls' favorite movie is The Notebook, 2004 film with Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams. It's one of those romantic movies that really like define a generation. But it's his pen. So Notebook, your favorite movie is Notebook. Fire. So good, if they all suddenly get them all booked. Again, this is the battle side of Kendrick. We just witnessed it. And in the bar, get them all booked. You know what I'm saying? My baby boo, you either heal or you kill. Nigga. This is that the pen is mightier than the sword. A little nod to that, maybe. Plus, Kendrick's catalog is one that heals. Absolutely. We just talked about it. You know, Drake called it freeing the slaves, right? Like, but Dot made him eat those words, you know? And Kendrick is saying, look, I could either heal you or I could kill you. I could kill your career. Like I could uplift you. I could build or I could destroy it. I could build this shit up and take hip hop and our culture to a better place, but we could watch the party die. I will burn all this shit down in support of what I believe in. So, you know, this is just that. Both is true. It takes some tough skin just to deal with you. Logical explanation don't exist. Flipping pages, chapter after chapter, probably me remarry and head to Vegas. Flipping pages, chapter after chapter, all writing terms, right? Bitches get marked out. They can't erase our history. They margins ain't big enough. They all led by bigotry. Marked out, you know, a pen makes marks, right? So you get marked out, can't erase our history. You can't erase a pen. You ever had those pens with the erasers on them? You know what I'm saying? When you kind of like graduate from being a kid and using the pencil and you would erase, and then they made the pens with the erasers on them. Those pen erasers never work. It just tore up the paper. Can't erase our history. Never work. Margins, all of these are writing terms. My woman in my right hand, my saint in my sin. Ain't no bitch like my bitch, because that bitch been my pen. And there's the reveal. You just want to press rewind after that. I heard that and said, holy shit, what did he just do? And then, it's like the end of, and again, it's a movie analogy, the end of The Usual Suspects. If you ever see that movie, when the detective starts putting the whole story together, and he's been duped the whole time. He's been misled the whole time by the real Kai's associate, by Kevin Spacey, right? So Kendrick has been misleading us this whole time. We thought this was about a woman, and then the last line, ain't no bitch like my bitch, because that bitch been my pen. And that's the reveal. You just want to press rewind. It's a great song. I know, and it's the last joint on the album, so there's not a song after it that I have to, hey man, maybe let me listen to it first because I want the whole album listening experience. Nah, it's the last song. Exactly what I did when that hit, I rewound it. Like, yo, what the fuck did he just do? Great song. So why is this pen called Gloria? Maybe that's just the name he gives his pen. Maybe it's literal, and he has a pen that he calls Gloria. Maybe Dot writes with a pen and paper. I'm not sure if it's that literal. Could be a derivative of glory. The pen brings him glory. So, all right, let me call my pen Gloria. And then my friend, my colleague, my brother, somebody who I respect, man, we talk about rap all day long, Andrea Stadio, he pointed out, he said it could be that Laban is a manufacturer, a pen manufacturer, and they make a pen called Gloria, the Gloria pen by Laban. It's a $250 pen. Not 100% sure if this is what Kendrick meant, but it could make sense. I mean, we don't know. He would have to say, but the song is beautiful. The song is a masterpiece on its own. And then the outro, SZA singing Gloria, I want to take you to Euphoria. That's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? The Euphoria is not a coincidence. Bitches want, but they ain't strong enough. I heard they talking, we notorious. If someone talking on me, I see you, you see me. both see what we want. Oh, I see you, you see me, both see what we want. So just his relationship with a pen, man, I enjoyed that record, man. And it got better just listening to it and then sitting down and taking these notes line by line. So, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Definitely talk with me in the comments, like, subscribe, comment, do all that. Let me know what you think. I don't sit here and I don't pretend and I don't speak down on anyone that I know it all, that I got it all right, that I'm the one. Guess what? The only one who knows is Kendrick. The only one who could really say is Kendrick. We're just rap fans. We're just having fun with this. And I'm using my experience, my perspective, my voice to just, man, let's have these conversations, man. Let's talk about our art. Let's talk about our music. Let's talk about our culture. We're going to talk about the totality of it, but let's talk about it in positive ways too, man, and the great things that it makes us feel and our excitement about it. Everything doesn't have to be about what we hate, what we don't like. That's just my take on it. But just my thoughts with Ron Markman, man. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. Till the next time, and there's going to be another one. Peace.